All right, so we're live, so that means we have to start with the obligatory, and now we're live. And now that that's out of the way, welcome back to Infinite Roleplay. I am, of course, Nelson, and we'll be playing another fine game of Saturday morning tabletop, the RPG, which, you know, with help from my dear friends here, I managed to develop over the past year, and today's game will be Turkey Day. I know it's a few days after Turkey Day, but this is Turkey Day for a different reason. Why? Because Chief runs this joint, has been terrorizing the countryside with his horde of Jive turkeys. And our good friends here, heroes in their own right, will be helping the villagers in Shirima, of all places, small island of Shirima. And let's find out a little bit more about these heroes. Why don't we? We'll start with my good friend Brian over there.
Hello, my name is Brian. I am playing a human Archean warrior called Sebastian, aka Saber. And he's taking his role very seriously because he's a kid. Not only a kid, but a child, a fairy godchild as well. Wink.
And then we'll move over to my boy Sabe.
Hello guys, I'm Suhaib and I'm playing an elven barbarian shaman named Elwin Tundra. He's on a journey to find about life. You know how life can be. Wonder what he'll find.
And the one, the only Dennis.
Hey, I'm Dennis. Today I'm playing Grim Gleevix, a halfling lawman who's traveling around bringing law to the heathens.
I'm dropping pens. Yes, so, as I said with a quick screen share, you guys, you know, you've been around the world of Gemini for a bit, and today the three of you happened to be sailing and landed on the small island of Shirima. The major town in Shirima is Kikogawa, sorry. And being a small town as it is, being on a small island and of course being situated on the coastline, Kikogawa is all about ocean trade and fishing. And, you know, they deal with a lot of other towns. Grim and Elwin, not too long ago, you gentlemen were on the island of Trelane, and after handling the situation in Trelane, sailed southward, possibly picking up a young and rambunctious young man by the name of Sebastian, going to Kikogawa. Why don't you describe how you met this young rambunctious Sebastian?
First time you would ever see Sebastian, he would be on the beach, practicing with some sort of flurry to his maneuvers, taking his kata quite seriously. He learned some kata from some of the occupants of the nearby villages. Not only is he practicing, but he's practicing with a lot of noise. You hear, yeah, and all sorts of things like that, spinning around and with acrobats. He's very quick. Doesn't look very strong, but very quick.
You'll also probably see a very short, very old, very well-dressed young brownie. He's old, but he's young at the same time because he's knocking back a gourd and what must undoubtedly be some form of adult beverage. as he's waving a thin little wispy stick in the child's general direction, mouthing something that looks like, yes, good, good, yes, yes, before taking another big swig from his undoubtedly adult beverage.
You also notice that he's not actually practicing with actual blades. He's just with wooden sticks. He has no weapons on him whatsoever.
As the old, but yet still somehow young brownie manages to notice a very rough and tumble looking halfling of all things. He sees you walking, from the docks. Grim, how do you look?
Well, as Grim is walking from the docks, he is watching this scene from under the low brim of his hat, dressed in a long coat, the hilt of a blade just visible on his hip, on the other side a pistol, a bow on his back. He nods towards the source of the noise as he says, "That's sure a lot of hubbub," as he glances up to his companion.
Oh, you'd be about the same size, I reckon.
Well, Elwin responds to Grim with, "Yeah, but that little guy really does seem interesting." No, wait a sec. Yeah, you're a human child, right?
Yes, he's a human child.
Yeah. So Elwin looks at Sebastian and he just says, "That child looks really agile." And Elwin kind of moves towards the child, kind of get a bit closer, but not to disturb him. He just stands a bit far away, observing what he's trying to do.
And as you see Sebastian, this kid, he seems to be drawing some sort of power. And at the pinnacle of this charge, he launches a force 30 feet across and smashes some pots. To which you hear a yelp and a fist pump as he spins around.
Elwin, observing this, starts to clap for him and says, "Wow, child, you are a strong one."
And Sebastian spins around, turning around to the direction where this voice comes from. And immediately you'll notice that, yes, he's a human child, but his cheeks tend to sparkle like glitter. And he goes, "Oh, hi, thanks."
So you've been training. It seems you've been training for quite a while now. How old are you?
Yeah, I've been training for like ages. I'm 11.
Oh. So what else have you got? It seems you have some nice tricks up your sleeves.
Oh, you want to see? You really?
With that, the very, very old, very decrepit, and yet somehow spry and young-looking brownie springs out from his seat, nearly flying 5 feet towards you in the air, landing on the ground, tumbling, sand going everywhere. The gourd actually never manages to tilt one way or the other, and not a drop spills from the gourd before the brownie stands up. Whoa, hey! Oh. We lost Sahib.
He has to reboot.
Yeah, he's going to relog. So the old man pauses the world. And as Sahib
Yeah, I'm
rejoins
back.
us, the old man, again, not spilling a drop of anything of whatever was in that gourd of his, which you can only assume is undoubtedly an adult beverage, stands back up quickly. Look, he's good. But he broke all my other gourds.
That guy's talking to Elvin, right?
Yeah, he's directing his speech towards Elwin, though he does seem to be swaying back and forth a bit.
Well, he is just a kid after all. You gotta let him do what he wants a bit. He was just having a bit of fun and training. You can't stop his growth with, just getting upset with getting a few things destroyed.
No, look. I got an idea. And just as the brownie says that, an almost identical brownie, yet much younger looking, but wise in his youth, taps you on the back. Elwin, don't listen to him. It's not a good idea. And the older brownie turns to the younger brownie, staring him at the eye. They lock there for a moment. And then they look back at each and every one of you. And then the younger one just shakes his head and disappears. The older brownie continues saying, like I was saying, I've got an idea. Look, I see you're new in town. You probably don't know that. And he stops, takes a drink from his gourd. You can hear him guzzling. That the surrounding villages, poor things, they are being attacked day in and day out, over and over and over. We need somebody to help out like that. Kikagawa is a small town on a small island. Hell, I only came here because they make a great bit of sake, or sake, or sake. I don't even know what it's called, but it's good. And then I ran into this young fella, and he sort of says that with his shoulders slumping. And as his shoulders slump, you can see all his gray hairs, his eyebrows, his beard. They seem to instantly grow another few inches. And he says, good God, boy, you're taking years off of my life. But anyway, I tried to keep him out of trouble before he destroyed Kikagawa.
I wasn't trying to destroy it. I was just practicing on. Then you just said to stand out here and practice, and
you still managed to destroy something.
They were just sitting there.
And like as you say that again, you can just see his eyebrows and his hair and the gray beard just grow even more inches. They're just resting on the floor now. He's years. So, like I was saying, I have an idea. You like my ideas, right, youngin? Of course you do.
Oh, yeah, they're amazing. Like he showed me this flippy thing, and when he flipped, he flew his drink at the same time, and he just when he landed, he just caught it. It was amazing. I want to learn that too.
The entire time the brownie is nodding, he's nodding, and at first you don't notice, but by the time the young child is done with his sentence, he seems to have his long gray hair coiling around him several times at his feet. Well, yes. Yeah. So, you guys are heroes, right? Of course you're heroes. I can tell these things.
Sebastian raises his hand straight up in the air.
I'm a hero.
And the old brownie turns around and looks at Grim. He goes, I understand. I can appreciate your silent, stoic nature. Trust me, the child talks more than for the both of you. But these poor villages around town have been coming under attack. And no one can do anything about it. And it's sad, really.
By monsters?
And he starts nodding, and the coiled gray hairs that were coiling around his feet, sprouting from his beard and his eyebrows and the top of his head, it seems to be growing up now resting about his knee area. And for the first time, you're starting to hear a bit of age in his voice. Well, yes, they're turkey monsters. Large birds of nastiness. Thousands of them. There are thousands of them.
Grim,
Sebastian is just looking out, and his head's just drawn into the wilderness and the forests and everything, and as if he's imagining armies of giant turkeys out there.
Grim reaches up and tugs at the brim of his hat as he again looks up to his companion. Elwyn, did he just say turkeys?
Turkeys. I don't think I heard him say turkeys. I'm pretty sure I heard him say bird monsters.
No. He said turkeys. Like turkeys.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm ready. You got to be kidding, right? He looks at that brownie and he's like,
Looking at
surprise.
Looking at the brownie now, you can see that the coiling mass of hair that he had around him is reaching not only from his knees, but it's up by his waist area. I said, yes. You don't understand. A foreigner came to the lands. We don't know how. He didn't arrive on a boat. He's a chief. Chief. He thinks he runs this place. And he has turkey armies. And you can see him sort of like his eyes are getting really heavy. And he drifts off and sleeps for a second. He wakes up. Starts drinking from the gourd.
So when a brownie kind of says that it's turkeys, Elwyn starts laughing. Well, this traveling around the world really is amazing after all. First the squirrels, he laughs at them again. And now turkeys.
Have you ever fought a squirrel before? Oh, and the war hamsters? Oh.
Yes. They shot two like small kind of arrows at us. They kind of did hurt, and they were really agile. They were really amazing to fight. Yes, that was a scene to see.
Oh, they didn't fight me because I can speak squirrel.
Oh, really? You really are a talented one.
Yeah.
And as the conversation continues, the massive hair that was by this poor brownie's waist is now chest high. His head he seems to be just a head, barely sprouting out of all the hair growing out of it. Turkeys! Get them! They're bad.
Wow. That never happened before.
And Sebastian just goes over to the brownie trying to find him underneath all this hair.
And as Sebastian is like digging through the hair, you see the head sort of slip into the mound. And then as you separate all the hair, all you find is just a bunch of old gray hairs and an empty gourd.
Oh.
And he just whispers,
He's gone.
but, and then he straightens up.
Brownies tend to do that.
It seems that you know even this guy for a while now.
Just today.
Really? But is he really gone? He tries to check that hair, like searching for Brownie.
As you're checking through the hair and disturbing it more and more, you're finding that by the time you're done searching and finding no Brownie, when you stand up, it doesn't even look like a pile of gray hairs. It looks like just really knotted up and a whole mess of hemp rope.
Hey,
Seems
hey,
this.
how would you keep that? That's brownie hair. It's good luck.
I don't know. I don't think I should. We are already carrying some weight with us.
Oh, well, thing.
What do you think about this, Graham? Do you want to take his hair? I don't know.
Grim lifts up his hands, palms out, and lowers his right to pull back his cloak and pat his pistol and says, "This is all the luck I need."
Oh, cool. Is that a gnome weapon?
Son, it's a weapon of the law. And I'll put his coat back in place.
You're a lawman.
Sebastian looks quite enamored by this. Just finding out this halfling is a lawman.
I sure am, and he'll walk up, remembering a similar moment from his childhood, and reach into his pack and pull out this little figurine, an action figure of a lawman, and hold it out for the kid.
Cool.
You actually giving that to me?
Yes. Yep.
And Sebastian he takes it in his hand.
Oh, wow. Thanks. For me?
Yeah, that's for you.
You are.
Keep a good look on it.
Grim
Don't let it
doesn't
on your
always
sight.
give away his toys. Sorry, you can go.
Yeah, that one's very special. Someone gave that to me when I was a kid, and I grew up to be a lawman.
Thank you.
Sebastian just starts to play with it and jumps around and pretends to fight.
As he's pretending to fight, the last 3 shots that he shoots, and he goes pew, 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 or pew, 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 you just see coming out of the gun like this insane view of 30 coins back to back manifesting and then landing on the floor. Boom, boom, boom. Giant golden coins of inspiration.
Did you say 30?
No. What?
I heard 30.
I heard 30.
Each one of you get a giant coin of inspiration. A golden coin of inspiration. 1, not 30. And if you want a gourd, an empty gourd, and a bundle of hemp rope.
Sebastian's still, after a few minutes, he's still arguing that the brownie hair is good luck. We should take it.
Well, since the child is insisting that much, we can't just make him cry for not listening to him. Alvin just picks up the hair and puts it in the bag.
I'm not going to cry. I'm just saying.
I didn't say that. But yeah, anyways, Elvin just picks up the hare, puts him in his bag, and and tries to continue on the topic of turkeys. So, what do you think? He looks at Graham and says, "What do you think about this? I think we need a bit of more information about the turkeys."
Yeah, you're right.
And then Sebastian looks up and down the beach, seeing if he can spot any villagers.
As a matter of fact, you're looking up and down the beach. There's no villagers on the beach. A few, about 100 paces towards the north end of the beach is Kikogawa. You see the town, and you see people inside of Kikogawa, right? There's an extended docks, which your two brand new friends came off of. And then all the way down to the southern end of the beach, about 300-400 paces away, you just see a lone turkey staring in your guys' direction.
Is it a normal turkey?
It looks normal, but it's not moving normally. It's like it's staring you guys down.
And Sebastian just leans over and looks at it.
Is that one of them?
Elwin looks in the same direction when Sebastian says that. Squints his eyes, tries to focus on it, and he's like, that is indeed a turkey. I don't know if it's that one.
Maybe there were turkeys.
Maybe. Elwin is gonna move toward the turkey. It's a single turkey, right?
It's a single turkey that you see on the beach, on the shore.
Okay, and he tells Grim if the turkey does anything weird, you need to shoot it.
Grim's at that as he pulls his gun out and begins circling to his left, keeping an eye on the turkey.
Sebastian nudges Grim.
Anytime, Sheriff. Anytime, just say, and I'll heck.
As all this is going on and Elwin is making his way towards the turkey, about halfway there, you can see the turkey is like eyeing you and eyeing Grim. The closer you get, the more apparent it is that when he's eyeing Grim, he's more or less checking out his gun. And when you get too close, the turkey stares at you and starts with very fast turkey-like motions, is looking at you like you're short, even though you're much taller than it. Sticks out a taloned foot, and literally draws a line in the sand.
And Sebastian starts jumping up with excitement.
It's a word turkey.
Okay, Elvin assumes that stops and assumes that turkey's telling it, if you cross this line, I'm gonna attack. He just looks back at Grim, and him as if saying that, yeah, it seems this is one of those turkeys. Yeah.
Sebastian comes near a little closer. He puts his hands on his knees, looking at the turkey.
Do you understand common?
The turkey, much in the same way that he did with Elwin, he turns to Sebastian, looking at him as he's short. And turkeys aren't tiny little birds. They're fairly large birds. So it's almost as big as you are, Sebastian.
Golly.
Like Yeah, you know, and it's starting to look at you like you're short, and then it starts switching its head back and forth.
I don't speak turkey.
And then it looks at you like you're short again.
Would it help if I go down shorter? Like this?
And Sebastian gets down his knees.
The turkey looks at the line in the sand, and then like ignores Sebastian and looks at Elwin.
He doesn't want us to cross the line.
And just goes.
When Sebastian.
Yeah, go ahead.
When Sebastian says he doesn't want to cross the line, Elvin just pats his head. I know.
Do you speak Halfling? I speak Halfling. Do you speak Elven? I speak Elven.
As Sebastian is saying this, the turkey starts taking 1, 2, 3 steps backward, and then it's starting to turn away. But it's keeping its head poised at Elwin for quite a long time during the turn, before making a full turn and starting to scurry down the beach.
Oh wait!
And Sebastian gets up and impulsively he's going to run after it, his foot just nearing the line.
Does he stop?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah, he's over.
So Sebastian's run away, right?
He's running after it.
He's running after the turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Like Elvin is trying to stop him, but he kind of just runs away. Well, hopefully nothing bad happens.
And Sebastian, as he's running, he's turning, he's going, come on.
We'll find out their secret base. Come on.
Well, as Sebastian ran away, he's kind of ahead. Elvin is running after Sebastian, and not the turkey to kind of grab Sebastian.
So the turkey's getting away, and as the turkey is getting away down the beach, it makes a sharp turn to its left to head towards the line of the forest, which in this area grows fairly close to the shoreline.
And Sebastian gets to the point where it makes its sharp turn. Does he notice the tracks? Any tracks?
Yeah. It's easy to see where these talons are clawing into the sand and the dirt, and the grass. It's still in view. It's just slowly increasing the gap as you guys are,
How far away is it from where Grim is standing on the beach?
When it makes its turn?
Yeah, just as it makes its turn.
About 110, 120 feet away.
So that would still be in range. I'm going to use one of my maneuvers, dance, and I'm going to basically shoot my gun in front of it to make it move back 10 feet from the woods, back in the direction it was running from.
All right. When you shoot, you see how it reacts to your dance maneuver, and at first it looked like it was going to run right into your bullet. And being that you are so skilled, you can surmise that this turkey is but a mere minion. But yeah, you kept it from going to the forest.
And then I'll then begin moving down the beach after the other two.
So is it knocked unconscious or?
It's well, Grim only wanted to move it away from the forest, and
yeah, basically it's like, you know, in like the Old West movies where you're shooting at their feet, making them dance, and basically driving them back from the woods, basically stopping them from escaping into the forest.
Nice.
So that's what he's at. That's exactly what he's doing, leaving you guys the chance to catch up to the turkey.
Well, Sebastian is running after the turkey, and I'm running after Sebastian. Let's see when we catch up then.
So what do you do when you catch up to the turkey, Sebastian?
He's gonna jump on it.
Yeah, it's just like the bullets are blazing, the sand just flying up, and you can just hear the turkey until you jump on it.
And he jumps, and he goes in the air. He cuts in the cat pounce and jumps on it.
Wait! Don't be afraid!
As it goes.
Yeah. After it catches its breath from being crushed by the kid, it starts going back into those little gobble gobble noises again. So when everyone catches up to where Sebastian is, as he's holding down, as he has this large turkey pinned to the sand, what are the rest of you gonna do?
Well, kid, you caught the turkey. Now, what do we do with it? I mean, we can't interrogate it. None of us speak turkey. I mean, I would have if I knew there were turkeys outside. Actually, and can do war.
Sebastian's just trying to. He is actually trying to figure out what to do now. As if now he's caught it. Now what? And then he's lifting the turkey right in front of him, and he's going.
Can you show us where your base is?
You lift the turkey right in front of you, and it's going to attack you when you do. As you lift it up, and its legs are free to just start clawing away.
Oh no!
And it rolls a 1, so it's just like not getting anywhere. Just like
Calm down! God damn it! Sheriff! I got him!
When he first arrives, Grim's going to move to the edge of the forest, see if he can spot anything, and see if he can see any tracks leading in or out from the forest to where the turkey was heading.
Yeah, roll me I think it's a survival check to track.
Now, being a lawman, and that I always get my man, I get advantage on survival checks for tracking.
Yes, sir.
In this case, I guess my turkey. So that would be, that's good. I got 8. What is it? So 23.
Yeah, you as a matter of fact, if you want to describe it, you can describe exactly what tracks you see, where they lead, and everything.
So yeah, having some kind of indication of the direction it was running, as Sebastian jumps on the turkey and is interacting with it, he moves to the edge of the forest. He crouches down, his fingers tracing a track that the turkey had left right before reaching the greenery of the forest, and he follows it in a couple steps and sees signs of movement that lead deeper in. the signs continue. Basically, he's now found the trail, and he'll turn back to the others and say, I think I can find out where it came from.
Wow, how did you do
Well,
that?
That is a good thing, but what do we do with this turkey first? Do we just tie him up and leave it, or do we? We can cook it. We can always cook it.
Oh!
He just laughs, but not really.
Oh no, the turkey starts
No,
attacking again. The turkey's like, even with more ferocity than it did before.
Shit.
Which is, I don't know. That one actually might be enough to hit.
Yeah, that's enough to hurt him.
Yeah. All right, so you take a total of 3 points of slashing damage.
And as his claws Sebastian's hat, he just and drops it.
You drop it and starts running away.
If I can react to that, I would like.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, somebody.
You can go ahead, Grim. You can go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying if I can react to it, I would try to grab it again, because if we don't, it might create a havoc. So for us.
All right, so
Sebastian's nursing his hand. And it's like, ow!
So you pounce.
You want to cook turkeys?
You pounce on the turkey, Elwin.
Yeah.
All right, so you can pounce on it. You don't have to roll. So you crush it, and again it's like as it has all the air sort of squished out of it for a second.
Elwin kind of looks to Grim. We really do need to do something about this one first.
Grim will glance over his shoulder back to Sebastian and say, "Well, it's your call, kid." As he pulls his gun and points it down to the turkey.
Oh, as you point your gun down towards the turkey, you see the turkey notice you, and then go completely limp.
Sebastian comes in right before the gun and the turkey.
No, don't kill it. And he goes, I'll keep it.
Grim will smirk from beneath the brim of his hat as he does a showy flip with his pistol and holsters it and says, "You hear that, turkey? You better behave." And he'll step back.
Your keen lawman eyes, and as well as everyone else's not so keen, it doesn't really matter eyes, can notice the turkey lift its head up a little bit and look at the lawman, and lay its head back down slowly. So how are you guys proceeding?
So is it actually do we know if it's actually just an animal, or?
For all intents and purposes, it looks exactly like an animal. It doesn't have any clothing. It doesn't have any gear. It doesn't have a collar. There's no jacket. It doesn't have a cute little hat.
But it is safe to say that it would, its behavior would seem a little odd for a turkey.
Yes, definitely.
Well, as long as you behave. Come on, guys, let's see what we can find out about this. And he'll start, Grim will start heading for the tracks that he found in the forest.
And with that, Sebastian nods at Grim, then looks back at the turkey, grabs it, and then,
It's okay, little guy. I'll look after you.
and then sticks it down his good gear bundle.
It was motionless until you started to put it in a bag, and then it started to spring to life moments too late. Just as you sort of zip, and your bag is just moving around. So you guys proceed into the forest, right?
Yep.
With the sound
Yeah.
of coming from Sebastian's bag.
Okay, Elvin is gonna do something. Elvin is gonna use his racial feature that lets him go into the shadow and try to move from tree to tree using that feature, silently and trying to observe from height.
Okay. It's fairly easy to do. I mean, the sun is up, but of course, as you're going into the forest, the trees do cast shadows. And roll me a perception check.
Percentile?
Perception.
Perception.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Because you said you were going up into the
Yeah.
the height of the tree to see what you could see.
I rolled a 1.
All right. So you can see that there are some deeper shadows than others as trees are closer together and they overlap. You can see Sebastian's bag is moving around. And your keen ears can most definitely pick up the muffled gobbling of the turkey inside Sebastian's bag, which is probably a little bit too distracting for you to spot anything else. And what are the rest of you doing?
As they're traveling, Sebastian's trying to learn Turkey. See if he can.
All right, it's hard to make out. You just hear muffled, just gobbling.
Yep. He's trying to figure it. He's figuring it sounds as gobbledygook as goblin, so he's trying to see if he can get anywhere.
He can easily surmise that he might be saying to let him out. Or that he really enjoys his new home. You're not quite sure yet.
Now Sebastian thinks he likes his new home.
And with our keen tracker, the one who led us this far into the woods so far, Grim, what are you doing?
Basically just trying to track the turkey back to where it came from. Occasionally he'll stop, crouch down, make sure that he's got the right sign, and take a moment to look around, make sure that they're not being stalked themselves now that they're in the woods.
All right, so roll me another perception check.
That would be 24.
All right. You in the disturbance of these tracks that you're following, you're noticing that some of the tracks are larger than others. Unless you're skilled at raising animals or have some sort of knowledge of turkeys or other creatures, you can't tell exactly how much bigger these are, but they look like the same tracks. They look like turkey tracks, just larger. And they sink in a little bit deeper. And
So
they
as
seem to
I'm,
start. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say that as I'm crouched down and I'm seeing this, I'll turn back and motion for Elwin to come over so that I can show him these larger, deeper tracks.
Elvin's when Elvin sees the Grim motioning to him, Elvin's gonna go back into the shadow and try to go as near as to Grim as possible, like wherever the shadow leads. I think it should be there, but yeah, sees whatever Grim is showing to Elvin.
You can tell that the tracks, as you're examining them, they begin to flare out. The majority of them still follow the same area, but they also seem to flare out in every other direction you can think of. And there is as far as you can tell, Grim, it's really easy for you to see. I don't know how difficult it will be for Elwin to see, but there looks to be like these tracks don't even seem natural with the amount of traffic that is there. You know, game trails maybe are run once in a while. When you're tracking an outlaw, there may be the only tracks that run in that one area, but here is like it to you. It looks almost as disturbed as maybe just outside of a city.
This is getting curiouser and curiouser. What are these dang birds up to?
And Sebastian just goes,
So they are were turkeys.
Truthfully, son, I ain't sure yet what they are. But they ain't no regular turkeys.
Do you think it's a spell? Maybe there were people and this evil wizard make them all into turkeys.
It can be anything, possibly. Now, I'm just going to assume that they're just some turkeys with a bit of intelligence.
Just a bit.
So at that, Grim will rise up and begin moving forward once again.
All right, so you're following where the majority of the tracks lead.
Yeah, that would be my best lead at this point.
All right, so you're going deeper and deeper into this forest, and it seems to be like opening up just a tad bit, and you could just hear just tons of gobbling sounds. It's almost like white noise to you, and it sounds a little bit distant towards the direction you're coming from. And it looks like there is a small sort of 5, maybe 6 foot, very roughly constructed wall.
did you say goblin sounds, Nelson, or?
Gobbling.
Okay.
You know, the gobble, 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 gobble. It almost sounds like beyond this wall is drowning in turkeys. How are you guys proceeding from this point?
We should look over the wall very carefully and see what it is.
Well, Elvin will try to look silently over the wall, and he would suggest him to Sebastian to stay back, just to Sebastian, because he has a turkey and it's making some noise.
Oh yeah, okay.
All right, so Elwin with advantage, roll me a stealth check to see if you can look over the wall without being spotted.
I'm even afraid with an advantage. Damn it. That's a 17 on the die, and it's going to be 18. Yeah. 18 in total. 18?
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. So you managed to peek over, and you see a village. All right. It's a small village. There are villagers that are sort of like tied up, and they look like they're really haggard and beat up. There's about a dozen of them that you can see in your line of sight. But there are hundreds of turkeys. Like, you can't really count how many turkeys there are. There are hundreds of small little turkeys. Well, I say small, but they're almost the height of your young new friend and your skilled older friend.
Okay, so seeing these many turkeys, a kind of like a thought bubble pop up with 3 dot poop. He thinks of like pillars of fires firing up, and all of the turkeys kind of like poofing into cooked turkeys. Oh god!
And as
I don't have fire magic.
As your thought bubble is like poofing up the turkeys, the smoke from the poofing starts forming a larger turkey, and that's when you see larger turkeys about your size walking around. They don't look humanoid. They look like turkeys. They're not wearing any clothing. They're not wearing any weapons. But you do notice that across their beaks looks like war paint.
Okay, so as a barbarian, would I recognize that as a barbarian war paint?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Elwin at this point is very excited to see the sight, not just the turkeys, but barbarian turkeys. But come on, man, it's barbarian turkey. He kind of feel this feeling of brotherhood, but not really. He just goes back down the wall. And with that excited look on his face, he looks at both Grim and Sebastian and says, "Barbarian turkeys."
Oh, no way. We gonna fight? Oh, what?
I don't know. I think we should move a bit more carefully with this kind of development. I have no idea what to do, and yeah, there were villagers tied up. We do need to rescue them, it seems.
Well, how many were there?
What did you say, Brian?
He says, "How many were there?"
You cut off again for me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
I said, "How many were there?"
I don't know. I couldn't really count them. Maybe 100 of few, and there were quite a few of those big ones.
Big ones. So they all were turkeys.
Yes, they are. They are. They had war paint over their beaks. They do seem strong, just like the war paint I have. He lifts up his he shows his arm. There's kind of a kind of war paint on his arm, telling it kind of looked like a wing, and he said something like this: "Their beaks."
So they're barbarians. So do you think that they're druids that turn into turkeys?
When you guys are talking and you're chatting with Elwin, and I'm assuming because you're not screaming while you're chatting,
No.
No,
like you were when you were. However, the turkey in your bag is, and it's growing louder and louder and louder. And as the conversation starts to go on, like you can hear the turkey going louder and louder, and it's easy to hear that there is more gobbling sounds starting to come from the forests that you guys are actually in right now.
Does it look like that turkeys are coming closer?
Looking in the distance, there is some motion.
Oh no! Gobbles told the others.
We shouldn't have brought that turkey here. Should have tied him up to it somewhere back there.
It's quite clear that Sebastian's named the turkey Gobbles.
I'm going to pull out one of my daggers and flip it around and start hitting Mr. Gobbles with the end of the dagger.
Yeah, you hit him a few times and knock him out. But in the short time it takes to knock him out, you can see coming and through the cast shadows of the trees, you starting to see a group of 6 turkeys about the size of Gobbles starting to pick up speed and charge towards you guys, all gobbling in their own right.
Okay, so seeing this, I actually had a question about Way of Ancestor. I can actually summon 2 weapons, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
But
because
it's
it's not a
only
concentration.
It's only for you.
It's yeah, cool. Yeah, so seeing that these guys are coming in, Elwin lives in the air, and the wind kind of follows him as he puts his hand on the ground, both the hands on the ground, and both the hands kind of the ground kind of turns into hilt. He grabbed the hilts and both of the hilts up as this kind of knife is starting, kind of a blade is starting to form. They're long swords, but they are in the shape of huge knives. He just grabs, then he kind of like sharpens them up. It's time to cut some turkeys, it seems.
As he does that, Grim sheathes his dagger, walking, moving behind Elwin, and then disappearing from view.
And what is Sebastian do?
Sebastian is he was patting first he was patting Gobble on the head where the head could be in his back. It's okay, Gobble, it'll be okay. He did it for your own good. he just shifts his bundle to the back of him, and then from his hand he starts to draw energy in this black blade that is much more bigger than him, and it's complete weapon that a kid his age should not be able to lift. Starts to form in the air.
So yeah, these things are charging you guys. As they draw closer, they're like halfway flapping their large heavy wings, and their massive turkey forms. They don't fly, but they manage to get a few feet up in the air to bring their claws down to bear. Unfortunately, they don't see where the halfling went, so all 6 are going to split their attacks between Sebastian and Elwin. So let me load up Dice Stream. It's 3 attacks going against Elwin. And one of them actually coos like a rooster for some odd reason. And that's probably why I'm guessing they all miss, because my highest roll is an 11.
Currently my AC is 11 because.
Okay, so the only one that hits you, the rest of them going, go, the other one's like, and manages to get you. But that turkey, you can actually notice as he claws into you that his eyes are all like cockeyed and weird. And you take 3 points of slashing damage, Elwin. And you were attacked 3 times, so you also gain 3 anger. Remember that.
Ooh, cool. Even if it misses, or were they just from hits?
You have to be attacked.
Okay.
Wait. Let me double check.
I do think it was on hits because it's getting attacked. It says.
No, being attacked. Yeah.
Okay.
Why are you trying to confuse me with my own game? It's being attacked. And the other 3 go to attack this poor young child, Sebastian. And for Sebastian, this looks horrifying, or at least Elwin thinks it looks horrifying, as these turkeys are nearly as big as Sebastian. Ooh, a 17, 7, and a 2. So I got a 19, a 9, and a 4.
Well, the 19 is a definite hit.
So, again, 2 of them missed, all right? And one of them managed to strike poor Sebastian, though this one does not coo like a rooster. Sebastian, you take 3 points of slashing damage. And as the turkeys land, they just plop boom, 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 heavily on the floor, and they're hopping on their legs, you know, like picking up their claws and kicking up the grass and the dirt beneath them, ready to continue this attack. And you could just hear them. But it's your guys' go.
And Sebastian says, I think they're angry. Is there any way one of these things are minions?
What was that?
Do we have any inclination that these things are minions?
Yeah, their attacks were, you know, gross and wild and crazy. You guys know that you are far more skilled than they are, and these are just mere minions to you.
Okay, Sebastian takes his defeat minion action. Okay.
All right.
And with a cry, he just leaps into this flurry of light action as he's coming in through all of them like a blinding light. And these bodies of turkeys start flying in the air and then dropping like feathers and sparkles as he comes down behind them, and he's just posing as if he destroyed the most hardest minion ever.
So how many of them do you actually defeat?
I think it's
your heroic tier multiplied by your awesome power, and you guys are tier 3.
Oh wait, so that's 4?
4? No,
that's 3.
Okay, so you defeat you utterly decimate in that glorious display the 3 you were facing. And mind you, Elwin, you saw this, and they were all almost his size.
Okay. Elwin is kind of surprised, but Elwin thinks that he cannot be outdone by a mere child. Not offensively, but he just thinks that himself. Yeah. And he also takes the defeat the minions action. Here, a heroic tier is 3. I can also kill 3. So Elwin kind of goes down into the shadow and pop from the back of one, slashes one with the knife, cuts it off, and then goes back into the shadow, pops out from the other side, slashes the second one, and in the same manner goes back into the shadow and kills the third one.
All right, so Grim, like you were hiding behind Elwin, right? And you noticed how the child defeated his 3 minions in separate flashes of light, and your compatriot defeats his 3 minions in separate winks of jumping into and out of the surrounding shadows, leaving you completely open, but yet no one left to face.
So yeah, if there's no more enemies, then I will remain hidden and just kind of move away from the others and look around to make sure there's not more coming on the way.
There doesn't seem to be, but you can still hear the ocean of that, you know, almost white noise of turkey sound coming from beyond the wall.
How high is the wall?
It's about 5 feet high. You want to climb the wall?
Yeah, I want to try. I want to try to get a look to see how big the place and what the layout is.
Yeah, when Elwin sees Grim climbing the wall, Elwin kind of helps Grim up. You know, give him a boost to reach up the wall.
Okay, so yeah, with advantage, yeah, you probably won't be seen because I know you took mad stealth. What you see is an endless sea of turkeys, most of which look like they're the size of the turkeys you just fought. The size of the turkey gobble, which is inside Sebastian's bag. And there are some of them that look easily twice as big, almost, the size of Elwyn, with what looks to be paint or war paint across their beaks. And you don't see one of them, you don't see two of them. There's about, what you can see now, almost a dozen of these larger turkeys. And they're like pecking at the lower ones, and they start pecking at their prisoners, which are poor villagers tied up. And these, they go into some of the little homes, and they're very, very meagerly built homes, mind you. These aren't tribal people, but these aren't people of, a lot of means.
What is the layout inside here? Is this like, did this used to be a village? Is there huts and stuff, or is it just an open pen?
Well, it's actually a small walled village. The wall, you can tell that the wall goes completely around the village. There's 3 or 4 dozen buildings that they look, again, very meagerly built. Like the area, the clearing that this village sits, all of the buildings and the walls were made with the trees cut from this area.
Okay, and the prisoners, where are they located in relation to the wall?
The prisoners are in the center of the village. There's about a dozen prisoners that you can see, and the village is not more than maybe 100, 200 feet across in any direction. So about 50 feet away from you guys, if you like tear down this wall and run straight in, you could get to the villagers in about that distance.
Is there any cover, like a path of cover between where we're at on the wall and where the prisoners are, like any of the buildings and stuff, or is it pretty much an open
There's
shot?
really not. There's not an open shot, and there's not really cover because there's so many turkeys. Like they're infesting this village. Like there has to be at least 100 of these little guys here. Not to mention the bigger ones that you did see, and whatever might be, wherever your vision may be obscured.
Is there just an opening, or is it like a gate?
There is to the east.
And is that open or closed?
It's open. But there's 2 larger turkeys standing there on the inside of the wall that you see.
And Sebastian's near the wall.
What's happening, guys?
And so I know like the lesser turkeys is kind of like an endless sea. Can I get any kind of just a quick guesstimate of how many larger ones? Is it more than a dozen?
No, it's roughly a dozen.
Okay. And most of all the structures and the wall itself is wood.
Yeah.
Is there like thatched wood roofs and whatnot?
No. The roofs are wooden as well. It looks to be like not necessarily shingled, but it's laid out like shingles. And judging by how the wall is constructed, that they probably used a mixture of rope and wooden nails.
Would it be a stretch to say that to have at least 1 torch and like a flask of oil in my good bundle? Or would that be feasible?
No, it's perfectly fine. You can get any mundane equipment you want. You get 1 piece of mundane equipment for every use of your gear bundles.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna climb back down from the wall, and when I get down, I'll take a second just to kind of look and listen. And assuming I don't detect anything, then I'll move over to the others, and I'll go up to Elwyn and say, "There's a lot of those turkeys. I don't think that we can just face them down. I have an idea though. If I can sneak in." Light a few huts on fire. I think that will probably send a few of them running, and then we can try to get to the villagers and get them out of there.
Elwyn kind of thinks on it. The idea itself is not bad, but we do need to do something about the turkeys too. I mean, they are eventually going to go to some other village or something.
Yeah, but I'm just concerned if we just walk in there guns blazing that some of the villages could end up getting taken out. I don't want my hands tied.
No, I don't think we should walk in there. What about baiting them into the forest? Maybe we can try to cut them down here.
Sebastian nods.
Yeah, diversion.
Well, we could try it, but there's so many. I mean, they could send dozens and dozens out and still have twice that many inside.
But still, we have to do something about them. I mean, how are you going to even sneak in there?
Because I'm sneaky.
Yeah. Well, we'll go with your idea. If anything goes wrong, I'll be sure to try to blast them.
Yeah, if we need to split up, we'll meet back at the docks, I guess, and go with a plan B if that's what it takes.
So, Grim, you try to sneak in?
Yeah, I'm going to try to, if I need to move out on the outside of the wall, to pick a place where the wall's close to a couple of these huts. Because just like the mental image I have is like, you know, this place is just overstuffed with turkeys, and there's not going to be a lot of room to really sneak, even for someone like me. You know, with my abilities, I can move through hexes where stuff is, but it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be really dicey. So I want to be able to get in and get to one of these huts quick.
Yeah, if through kind of scouting, you only have like about a minute or two before you start seeing like the two larger turkeys by the door. You know, that little gate on the wall that you saw earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Before they apparently start, you know, verbalizing and getting other turkeys to them and rounding them up. And in that time, you see about a dozen of the smaller turkeys, and the bigger turkeys step to the side and let the smaller turkeys out. You can pretty much surmise that because the first scouting party didn't return in that time, they're sending a bigger scouting party to see what happened. But in the time you see that, the closest of these buildings is about 10 feet away from the wall.
Okay, so I will give the others a quick warning if they have incoming, and I'll just kind of flash my hands, you know, each one twice, and then one hand with two fingers to indicate, you know, about a dozen. And then, you know, I'll just observe for the next few seconds, and, you know, picking the best moments, and I'll make my move.
Do any of you guys, Sebastian or Elwyn, speak street speak?
Yes. So
you know exactly what he meant by his motions, that there are a dozen more coming your way.
Yeah, Sebastian's been by himself for so long. Except when Mummy comes to talk to him.
So Grim, what do you gonna do?
And Sebastian signals back. This kid's got talent.
Yeah, Elwin, you just see a bunch of hand movements and whatnots. But it does look like apparently they know what they're doing.
Yeah, Ellen won't understand that anyways. So, and if Sebastian doesn't tell him, he's not gonna know anyways. I'll just stand there for watching.
Austin.
But Grim, what are you doing? Are you gonna try to sneak in, Grim?
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, I'll, after I communicate that, I don't want to wait too long, but I'll just kind of wait a few seconds to pick the best moment I can, and then I'll try to slip down and
all right.
Slip
It's
over
not
to
impossible.
one of the huts. Right.
It's not impossible,
So
but
it's really hard. I know. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be very hard, which is a DC of 25.
Holy moly!
That's very hard.
Can I spend my golden coin?
Yes, you may.
I think this would be a good time to do so. This. Oh yes, that will work. 26.
There you go. You managed to sneak in.
Thank goodness for high stuff. Okay, so yeah, basically as I slip down and I'll pick my way through and get to the closest hut that I can. Can I tell as I'm getting closer, are these things occupied with turkeys as well, or do they seem empty?
The huts, roll me a D6. Okay. On a 4, 5, or 6, it's empty. On a 1, 2, or 3, it has one of the larger turkeys in it.
I rolled a 2.
All right, so when you get close to the hut and you're like peering in through the little shutters and the half open shutters and whatnot, you can see one of the larger turkeys pecking around at the goods inside of this hut, knocking down the chair and trying to peck open. It takes him a few times, but eventually he gets a cupboard open and he's just rifling through the house.
Around me on the outside, are there any turkeys near me?
Yeah. They're literally everywhere. You probably managed to sneak behind some of these turkeys, like literally inches behind them.
Yeah, the picture I have is like an overcrowded, chicken coop is full of birds milling about. Yeah.
They're just they are apparently so absorbed with each other that they didn't notice you.
Okay, so yeah, that's going to do it. What I'm going to do is, you said there was like is it an opening or an actual window?
It's a window, but it's like a shuttered window, and the shutters are like haphazardly, halfway. One is kind of creaked closed, and the other one is like halfway open.
So would there be room to throw that flask in there?
Yeah, of course.
And so that's what I'm going to do is, would that be, am I going to be able to throw that and light a torch?
All in the same moments before anything happens?
Yeah.
No. Like, oh wait, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like any action, interactions and stuff.
Depending on the order in which you do it. What do you do first? Do you light the torch or you throw the oil?
I'm gonna have to light the torch first, because if I throw the oil, that's gonna alert him and he's gonna start mouthing off, and that'll alert the others. So I'll have to try to light the torch first.
All right, so you start lighting the torch. All right. And in this sea of gobbling, the noise is almost like white noise. There's so much of it, and it's so pervasive in the atmosphere. You're lighting this torch, and Three goblins. No, three
goblins?
turkeys. Yeah, three gobblers. The light glints on their eyes for a second, and you catch this just as they turn to look at you. But we pan back over to the other side of the wall with Sebastian and Elwin, as you guys can hear and see the motion in the distance of the forest. You were told, well, Sebastian was told that another dozen of these gobblers are heading in your direction. So Sebastian, you know exactly what's coming your way. If you're there. Oh, he said he'd be right back.
I'm back. What
Oh,
happened?
and there he is. He's back.
What happened?
You
Are they
can
charging us?
They're not close enough to charge yet, but you know that they're coming because you can see the motion in the distance. You know, the little disturbance of the bushes and the trees and the shadows being moved around. You know, the cast shadows of the trees. You know that they're about to be within eyesight.
Within seconds, I'm sure.
Yes. So what are you doing, Sebastian?
I'm looking for that goddamn spell that I picked. What's it called?
You remember what it does?
Swin Scar.
Okay.
Can I do it though? Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah.
Weapon attacks with this range of. Make your melee weapon attacks with your slashing weapon out to a range of 30 feet. Oh, that's only against one person, isn't it?
Yeah, it gives you range to your melee attacks.
And does it return?
You don't throw your weapon. You cut at the wind. And
Oh
the
yeah,
wind flies at them.
that's right. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
So, is there any? Sebastian is poisoned to get ready. Is there any big ones coming out of the forest?
You don't see. You weren't told that any of the big ones were coming, and you don't. It doesn't look like there's any large motion coming your way. Well, there's a lot of little disturbances.
Okay. He takes a big wind. He uses a big wind scar and shoots it into the direction of whatever's coming at him.
So are you gonna defeat minions or make your attacks?
Oh, it's gonna be defeat minions.
Okay.
This big, he just goes. He's gathering a whirlwind and he flew. You see this pulse of force shoot out. Grass flowing and everything, and leaves as this force shoots out and attacks. And then you just hear.
So three of them get trounced out. You hear the in the distance. Elwin, what do you do?
So Elvin heard those turkey noises.
Yeah.
Okay. So Elvin gets ready, and are any of the turkeys inside?
You can see them just barely silhouetted, like the details of what they are just coming in view. Because you're an elf, so you can see better in the lighting conditions. So.
Okay, so if I move my max movement, would I reach them?
Yeah.
Well, Elvin is gonna do that, kind of dash in.
You're dashing through
This
the
time?
shadows again, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And well, when he gets out near them, he's gonna use the defeat the minions action.
Mm-hmm.
And slash 3 of them. Cut them off. They kind of poof, and they can be cooked. Unfortunately, I don't have fire spells. Oh, why did I not take them?
So you gain, for defeating 3 minions, for everyone that you defeat, you gain a point of anger. But you lost the anger that you had before since the fight.
Yeah, so 3 rage now. It's 3 rage.
Yeah. So you defeat 3, and then you're in the midst of 6 more of them.
6 more.
You know, and then when you see them, they're all like, and they try to pounce down on you, like to just jump you and take you down pretty hardcore like.
6 of them.
6 of them. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Just 6?
So, yeah, just 6. You cut their numbers in half already. So what they're doing is that you can see them starting to attack in form, and 3 of them split off to one side to engage you, and the other 3 split off to the other side to flank you. And they're starting to like flap their wings and kick up their talons and stuff. So it's going to be 2 attacks with advantage, as there are 2 groups of 3 doing gang up actions.
Oh, damn.
So, okay, one of the groups crit you, and
Fucking turkeys are beating the shit out of you.
yeah,
Burns.
So you get hit. What is it? 2. You get hit once by the group that didn't crit you for 5, and then you take an additional 8 as they tear sort of viciously into you.
Okay, so when the first attack happened, that takes my rage to maximum, anger to maximum, which rages me, right?
Yeah.
With the modification and in the rule book.
Yeah. You just
I ignore
first. So you actually can ignore the crit.
So as it attacks me, I rage, I scream. As the second attack is coming me, he just kind of slams it with the sword, the flat side of the sword, tongue, and he just looks at this guy. So should I ignore the 8 or the 5?
The 8 was the second attack. So the 8 will happen. The 5 put you into a rage, and the 8 happened just after. So you can ignore the 8.
Yeah.
But with that, it's actually your guys' go.
That's close.
Are you beat up or not?
No. Not by a long shot.
All right. So go ahead. It's your guys' go.
So Sebastian sees this.
Don't worry, Owen. I'll help you.
And you see this kid charging and screaming, swirling his sword, and then somersaults beside Owen and takes a great arc attack and attacking 3 of the turkeys with the defeat minions action.
All right. So you trounce half the one of the groups that was flanking him.
Yeah.
Just boop, 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 one big swing.
Yeah, and they don't splatter in violence or anything. They just explode into feathers like that.
And Elwin, it's your go.
Yeah, Elwin also takes a defeat the minion action, but like he's gonna take he just like drops out the weapons in rage. He grabs the turkeys from their heads, and kind of slams them on the ground right there, and as it slams, they kind of poof, and he has turkey legs in his hand, kind of, but unfortunately uncooked. But yeah.
All right. So you defeat those dozen turkeys, and just as the last one puffs up and you see all the feathers fly out and consume the player's screen with feathers all over the place. And as the feathers fall down, you can see a very stoic halfling with a long brimmed hat staring into the gazing eyes of 3 turkeys that turn to look at him. Grim, how are you about to handle this situation?
Well, am I able to get it lit?
Yeah, the torch is lit. Remember, it was the light of the fire.
Right. Okay,
you
yeah, I
saw
just
a
wanna
glint
make
in
sure.
their eyes just as they turned to look at you.
So if I can, I would like to throw the flask and the torch in.
Okay.
Using my actions. Then I will use my movement, if I can, to like run over to the next hut, and then use my cunning action to attempt to hide.
Now they see you, and you're running through the sea of them. Attention has been brought to you. So,
Are there any of the big ones around?
well, there's definitely one in the hut.
Well, I don't want to go in there because hopefully that's going to be on fire soon.
That's where the fire went. And there's let's see. On your way to the next hut. Wait, hold on. What? On your way to the next hut, you can see at least 4 of the other big ones that are close enough, or that you would guess are close enough to close in on you.
Okay, now you said that the regular sized one were about my size.
Yeah.
Are the bigger ones the size larger than me, or are they not that big?
They're a size category larger, yeah.
Okay, so then that's what I want to do is using my hand-pulling nimbleness is basically run into the midst of those and use one of them to initiate the hide. Which I know is risky if I can even do it because...
Okay, let's see. That's near impossible. Using someone to hide from them.
Well, that's an ability a halfling has, so...
Yeah.
Well, you can
use a
move it.
medium-sized creature to hide behind. But
Yeah,
you're
as long
trying to hide behind a medium-sized creature, and that medium-sized creature is looking for you.
Right.
So you can do it, but it's going to be.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know it's going to be hard. That's what I'm going to attempt to do, and that's why I'm saying I know it's going to be dangerous because if I fail, I'm basically going to be surrounded by these giant turkeys. But that's what I'm attempting to do.
Near impossible is a DC of 30.
Oh boy. Well, then there's no way then, because my bonus is only a +7. Well, if I get a nat 20, then, but still.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah, you heard it. That was the advice right there. Don't. What timing? So you attempt the impossible, or the near impossible?
Well, if it was just a roll, I would do it. But I mean, I can't make it with the numbers. The only way would be to get a natural 20, and the chances of that are pretty much impossible. How tall are these huts? Actually, you know what? Screw it. It's going to be risky, but I imagine it's going to take a few seconds at least for the hut to be engulfed. So I'm just going to try to shimmy my little halfling ass in through the window.
So you jump in through the window. Okay, so you hop in through the window, and as you land, you know the splash of fire from the flask. Of course, that catches the large turkey's attention, and then you come in through the hut where this fire came from, catches its attention, and you can hear outside the sea starts to. The sea of white noise starts to roar almost twice as loud. And the origin was from where you are, and you could hear the volume increase almost in a circular manner around this hut. And you have this one large turkey directly in front of you that charges at you as this is happening. So let me just tab back over because I have too many things open at once. So this turkey, oh God, he gets 2 attacks. We'll say like he jumps up, but the hut is too small for him to attack. So he like knocks onto the hut and like stumbles, and spends everything he has just getting its footing. And when it gets its footing, it's like its beak is staring, like its eyes are staring right down its beak at you, inches away.
Wonderful.
So what would you like to do?
I would like to put my pistol underneath his beak and pull the trigger.
So go for it, roll it.
You need the salt, man? So that'd be 26.
I was just thinking about Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm doing anything.
Okay, and that
Using
pistol.
stealth at the right time.
So it'll be 14 damage.
So you just hit him for 14. You hit him for 14, and you can see like you singed the hell out of the turkey's neck. The feathers went flying. A shard of the beak was blown off. The turkey looks obviously beat up, stumbles back, but he's still on his feet.
Okay.
And with that, the turkey lets out what you could only imagine was meant to be a roar, but all you hear is and he charges you and starts pecking at you instead of trying to claw at you. Press the wrong button. A 3 and a 14, so I'm guessing that an 18. Does an 18 hit you?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
it
at
hits you.
16.
16. So you get hit for 10 points of damage. Piercing, because he attacked you with his beak. So he manages to claw into you just straight in and like shake his head and rip it out. But as this is happening, we pan back over to just outside the wall. And you guys had a very easy, very swift victory over this scouting party of a dozen, but almost as if cheering for you guys, you can hear what would surmount to a roar beginning inside the town. The volume doubles. No, it triples in sound. There's obviously a huge commotion going on in there. How are the two of you responding?
And Sebastian just looks back at the wall and goes, "Oh, Grim's in trouble."
Well, Elwin just runs towards the wall as he's saying that, trying to look over it.
So you look over the wall, and you see that there is a ton of these turkeys all starting to make their way towards a single hut. Some are trying to climb over others trying to climb over them. You see a few of the bigger turkeys making their way to that hut. And just off into a distance, there is almost like Moses parting the Red Sea. These turkeys part and leave a clear path for what looks almost like a human, but like covered in large furs and war paint. starting to jog towards that hut as well. And inside of that hut, just out of view of the two of you, we have Grim that was just attacked. Grim, how are you acting? How are you reacting to this attack?
So, how far was the hut from the wall, did you say?
It was 10 feet.
10 feet.
Well, I just didn't just look at the wall. I'm at the wall, just letting you know.
You climbed over the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, okay, what I'm going to do is I want to use my cunning action to, well, let's see. How far am I from the doorway of the hut?
Like 10 feet. The hut is not very big.
Okay, so then this is what I want to do. I want to use my gunslinger maneuver tumble, which allows me to tumble 10 feet without provoking an attack of opportunity.
Yeah, you can get to the door in that 10 feet.
Yeah, so I'll do that to get by him. Then I will, let's see, that's 2, what was the other one? Ouch. So, so as I come out, I imagine there's, well, did you say that they parted for this bigger one that was coming towards the hut?
Yeah, just as you go to the door, which the door is mostly open,
Right,
you know, just like it might have closed a bit, but it's not shut.
right.
You can see that there is an ocean of these turkeys, but they have all parted to leave a clear path, and there is a humanoid figure jogging your way, and you can see that the figure is actually he's dressed in like turkey feathers. He has a headdress of large turkey feathers. He's got war paint and similar colorings across, not just in lines across his face, but his entire face is painted. You know, from the nose up, you see red. From the nose down, all the way down to his neck, is blue. And everything else you see is covered in rows and rows of giant turkey feathers.
And when Sebastian sees this from the wall, he goes, "It's the turkey wizard."
I think that's the barbarian, not the wizard.
It's a turkey wizard.
By the way, do we also see Grim?
You don't see Grim yet because Grim has yet to tell me what he does when
Yeah,
he
he's
opens
in the
the
doorway.
door.
Basically, when I see this figure, I'm going to basically start shooting at it.
All right, so go ahead, pop your shots.
So it's 20 to hit.
That's a hit.
Okay. So 11 points of damage.
All right. You fire a shot off, and you strike this figure. You blow off some of the ornamentation, but it doesn't seem to slow down the figure. It looks like he's kneeling forward even further to turn the jog into a run.
Okay. So then, how far am I from the gate at this point?
How far are you from the gate?
Yeah.
You don't have a chance. You have a better chance climbing over the wall.
So it would be more than where is it? What is my speed? So it's more than 50 feet. Okay.
Well, it's not that it's not so much that it's more than 50 feet. It's that there's a little ocean of turkeys in your way.
Okay, so they like close around him as they pass. They're not still.
Yeah, they just
Okay.
open a corridor for him, a clear
And
corridor
then like
for him to
move behind him as it closes. Then yeah.
Yeah. Think of like for lack of a better descriptor, think of the canonization of a gang member right about now. You know, as the boss man is coming through, they're all like halfway climbing over each other, trying to get a better view of what's going on. There's a huge disturbance. It's a ruckus, but none of them are even motioning to interfere. They're just creating almost a wall of feathers and gobbling around this figure that's making its way towards you. Are you you used up all your maneuvers and everything? Grim. You're
Sorry.
muted if you're
Yeah, I was muted. Yeah, I have. That's what I was just looking at. I got enough. I'm going to basically use my last 4 points to do bullet time, which will add my proficiency bonus to my AC.
All right.
So for the moment, my AC will now be 18.
Okay, so as time seems to slow down for you, you're noticing that the large one that you shot in the face, the turkey, is turning to attack you.
Okay. 18 is enough.
He gets an 18 on the nose.
Yep.
So you only take 10 points of damage from that attack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just barely he just barely got to his beak into you. And just as that's happening, the figure you see running, adorned in all these turkey feathers and this war paint, you see his nose starting to stretch out, and his mouth is starting to follow his nose and stretching out to a point, and the point curves until you see that the figure has a beak, and his neck gets all wrinkly, and the beak, the top half of the beak, is painted red with the war paint, and the bottom half of the beak is
Oh, that is right. If it's +3, it would be 19.
all right, cool. So then you don't have to worry about the 10 points you just took. And the bottom half of the beak is colored blue from the bottom part of the war paint. He charges in after you, and he just gets to the door before literally kicking in the door. And when he kicks in the door, you can tell that his feet are these thick, these thick avian talons. But that's all that he can do. He just managed to get to the door. And then with that, Sebastian, you climb the wall, right? So you can tell pretty easily that none of the turkeys notices you. None of them. They're all making their way, piling one on top of the other, on top of the other. The only ones that aren't getting piled on are the larger turkeys. The smaller ones aren't screwing with those guys, but they are crowding them as every turkey is trying to move towards this one small shack, this one building.
Sebastian's eyes wide open.
Oh no, Grim's surrounded.
And with that, Sebastian just springs to his feet, and then he flips, somersaults forward, lands on the floor, on the ground, and then proceeds to backflip through all these turkeys. And at the pinnacle of his movement, he does a triple flip and then comes down again and uses. What the hell is it?
All right, if you're moving through the turkeys, that's going to be an issue. But tell me what you're doing first, and I'll let you know what's up.
He's using Dreamer's Frenzy.
Oh, wait a minute. Is that the one that helps you heal? Ugh, that's the wrong tab. I have so many tabs.
I have to use gain 1 level of insanity and hit every enemy within 20-foot radius with my weapon. No attack roll needed. Each enemy is dealt your weapon's damage.
Okay. Yeah. And these things are crowding. They're crowding. I'll roll a d6, and you roll a d100.
D100?
Yeah, a d100.
How am I gonna do that?
All right, so I'll just roll it then to see how many you destroy. All right, so.
Would I use 20s or something?
Well, you managed to peeking over because you were looking over the fence. Elwin, you see this kid, like he said, starting to run through, jump, and flip. There's flashes and flurries, and he seems to even maybe leave a ghost image around or two. And then by the time it's all done, he stops. And everywhere around him, there's turkeys. He is surrounded by turkeys. But in about 3 heartbeats, boom, 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 they all fall down at the same exact time. And you trounced like this whole part, like 40 turkeys are gone.
Well, Elvin knows that he can do what he did.
And Sebastian's just standing there, ninja stance, as these ghosts just retract and fade, and his left eye is going.
Okay, so how far would be Grim and Sebastian from me? Like when I'm standing on top of the wall?
Sebastian would be maybe, because he climbed over the wall last turn, probably about 30 feet away from you. And the hut is about 60 feet away. But you haven't climbed the wall yet.
I'm pretty sure I said, I didn't say, okay, I will climb the wall, of course, this turn. Then I was peeking through it. I climbed the wall. That would be an action for me, I guess.
Now you can climb the wall, but it's going to cost you.
Okay.
It's going to cost you like 20 feet of your movement.
Sure.
Oh no, not 20 feet. Sorry.
50. So that does count as an action because that's going to take me dash.
Okay.
Was it 15 or 50?
15.
Oh, okay. Then I have half my movement remaining. And is there kind of a shadow down there?
Yeah, there's this is not high noon. So, the buildings cast shadows, the larger turkeys cast sort of soft shadows on the other turkeys. And there's like an endless sheet of shadow in between the piling and piling on of the other turkeys. Or the smaller ones.
Okay.
So,
and how far is the gate that from Grimm's Point? Was it 50?
From Grimm's Point?
Yeah.
It's actually more than 50. You guys are about 50 feet away, but there's all the turkeys in the way.
Well, what Grimm's gonna do as he climbed up the wall, he just jumps from the wall right there. He kind of as he's landing on the ground, he doesn't really land on the ground. He just goes into the ground, the shadow. That's what shadow. And if he has movement remaining, he's gonna go as near to a turkey as possible.
With your 15 feet, there's no way you can find a turkey near, because your young friend decimated like everything within a 20-foot radius of himself. You know, like you have almost a clear run straight through, like to the.
Well,
to the
then, I guess 15 feet behind Sebastian, Alvin is gonna appear with a huge hammer in his hand, just like the last game. I love hammers. Let me just see which hammer was that.
Yeah, and just at that point, that's what some of the turkeys from behind. Let's see. Yeah, only a small handful actually notice that all of their brethren behind them are just defeated on the floor. However, Grim, inside of this hut, the flame is starting to grow. You've got the large turkey behind you, and this sort of humanoid turkey man that just kicked the door in front of you. What are you about to do?
So first, I'm going to lift my gun at this turkey man. I'm going to use my sniper to take a -5 to my skill to hit and a +10 to damage.
Okay.
As I just kind of curl the corner of my mouth as I meet his eyes and lift the pistol and take a shot. Nice. So that will be 22 to hit.
That's a definite hit.
Okay. And plus, he is wounded, correct, from when I shot him before?
Yes.
Okay. So that's going to be 12, 18, 28 points of damage. That also includes bringing the big ones down where I get a damage bonus for.
Yeah, and that's your +10 from sniper, right? The 28.
Correct. Yep.
All right. He takes the hit like a champ.
Yeah. So then I'm going to, since I'm kind of surrounded now by him, the fire, and this other bird, I'm going to use disengage, and then use my movement. And since he's a size larger than me, I can move through him, and I'm going to run my movement out the front door.
So you do, but again, as he was moving, the sea of turkeys was collapsing behind him to see what was going on. So you can get about 5 feet out of that door before you run into turkeys. Are you going to continue to run through these turkeys? Actually, you already took your disengage, right?
Yeah, I disengaged and started running for the door. So if I see them, I don't know if it's like completely surrounded, if I can start moving around to the other side.
No, you can actually get it because you took your disengage action.
Okay.
You can just barely manage to get around them since you're entirely focused
Right.
about moving and not getting totally decimated. But as you do that, the humanoid, right? You hear him scream out in a very almost squawky but deep voice, which I can't do because I can't squawk. I can't be like, "Arr!" Put out the fire. That sounds too evil. It's not quite that evil. But like a half turkey twinged gobble and then common, you hear him yell into the building, put out the fire, right? And he starts charging your way. And all the other turkeys are just as he turns to engage with you, and he's fast enough to close distance with you. So he does. So he runs your way, and he starts bringing his hands to bear, and you notice as well that his hands are these massive avian talons. And he swipes twice. Woof, woof.
Ouch.
And your AC is back down to 16, so he hits you twice. So you get slashed for a total of 62 points of damage. Slash.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. I was only at 40.
So he slashes. He's like, wham, wham, and you're sitting there. You're standing there, stunned from the pain. When you're down, you're stunned. You don't have to fall on the ground. What the stun condition gives you, if I mean, you can see it on your sheet, but it just makes it so that you can't take actions or bonus actions or reactions, but you can still move if you want.
Okay.
Now you're stunned there, and there was a roar of gobbling, and that just amplified to the next level, right? The two of you, Sebastian and Elwin, your friend is just beat up. He's standing there stunned. Like you can tell that in this moment he's in so much pain that he's trying to count the stars in the middle of the day, and apparently he's the only one that can see them. Right? The get back in the fight roll, you roll at the beginning of your next turn. If you succeed, you gain a level of Haggard, and you raise your hit points up to your beat up threshold, which is half of your hit points. If you fail, then you just remain stunned. If you take any damage while you're down, it counts as a failure.
Gotcha.
3 failures and you're down
You're
and out.
down. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. You can get back in if a friend does a you're fine action. You know, a friend can get you back in the fight. But at that point when you're down and out, you can't get back in the fight of your own volition.
Right. I'll have to phone in a friend.
But you do have 2 friends that just saw you get trounced up. And speaking of which, what do you guys do?
And Sebastian sees this and he goes,
No! Captain Sheriff, sir, I'm coming!
like that.
Okay.
Do I have a clear... How clear is my passage?
You cleared the way. Like, as there, again, only 4 of them turned around to look at you because they noticed that there wasn't as much noise when there once was. But as soon as like the noise roared up, they sort of went and turned back to look at what was going on. But yeah, there's a fairly there's a clear way to the building. There's no turkeys in your way. And there's only about 5 or 6 turkeys depth between the boss man and your friend right about now.
Okay. So that's about 50 feet away, correct?
From where you're at right now,
Yeah.
it's only another 20. It was 50 feet in total. You moved in 30, and you did your thing. That's why there was a clear path, because 20 feet away is the hut, and you destroyed everything within a 20-foot radius of you.
So Grim is 20 feet away from me?
Grim is about 25.
25.
The hut is 20 feet away from you.
How many turkeys? I can't help smile at that. How many turkeys is in the way of me?
How many turkeys? See, here's the thing. They're actually Jive turkeys. Because remember, this is Chief Run This Joint's horde of Jive turkeys that you're dealing with.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Again, there's only about 5 turkeys in depth. You know, between you and the Chief. But calculated every 5 feet, there's still like a countless amount of turkeys in total.
Okay. Oh, that would be so nice to do another Dreamer's Frenzy, but I'd be going up the insanity.
You get a second level of a second point of insanity. Is it worth it to you? I don't know.
I don't know. It means I can't use a bonus action.
Yeah.
And I have something that I really like to use.
All right. So while you think of that, you want Elwin to go?
Well, no. What he's gonna do is I'm gonna use. You see Sebastian charge up with light and energy. He's getting into sprinting position, and then he just shoots forth in another blinding flash of light, and I'm using spiraling barrage
Okay.
to get to Grim.
All right. So how many of them do you utterly just mess up?
I'm loving this arcane warrior.
Yeah. Spiraling barrage. You become a mote of arcane light and travel forwards in a straight line, damaging your foes and healing yourself. As an action, you become a beam of light that attacks on a 20-foot line. So yeah, you get right to the boss. Every evildoer / enemy within that 20-foot line takes 10 points of force damage, and you may spend 1 recovery. You can basically spend as many recoveries as you want right about now. But let's see how many turkeys you took out. Good God, this whole half, like they were lined up, and then you just moted. They all sort of just like burst into feathers as the light went by.
This fucking kid is insane.
So you can. I know you took a little bit of damage. Yeah, bowling for turkeys. Yes, arcane warriors and bowling. So I mean, you can heal if you want. It's part of the action. You can spend your recoveries to heal.
I think I just need to use one.
All right.
Back. I'm not much damaged.
Yeah. So that was your action, and now you're like face to face with Chief runs this joint.
With Chief runs this joint.
Yes.
Okay.
But that was your action.
I can use an action surge.
Hyperactive.
And I think I'll have. I think when I. And he's screaming. Owen, get Grim up! Like this.
All right.
And he's standing. He's just. As he knocked all, as he bowled through all these turkeys, he just zoomed right in front of the boss guy with his sword up like this. You know, eyeing this thing, still a little, twitchy-eyed.
Right.
I'm gonna use my action surge.
Okay.
And I also want to cast on me Storm Shroud.
What? Okay.
I just see this crackle of energy going around Sebastian. Yeah, arcane energies charge through his armor, powering him with lightning. Any enemy that's right near him takes 1 lightning damage.
But you action
surged.
surged. Yeah.
Action surged, so they take 10 lightning damage.
Yeah. At that point. All right. Go ahead.
And Big Boss Man is going to get attacked. Fuck, this kid is cool.
Yeah.
What the heck did you make, man?
He made a human child arcane warrior. And it just so happens that it was one of the best things he could have made for this quest.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. So, right, yes. Now, as I've got my Zephyr's Shadow,
Yeah.
he's versatile with action surge.
Yeah.
So that's 48, but I have to attack him first. So
Yeah, you gotta hit.
And that's a crit.
Oh God! All right, so that's max damage. What's your ability modifier?
Oh, that's a +3.
All right, so 3 plus 48 is what? 32. So that's 35, and you roll your 48 and add whatever you roll to 35.
Okay. That's 8, 6, 3, 1 plus 3. Did you get that?
No, I didn't. 8 plus 6 plus 1
Plus 3.
plus 3. All right.
And
So
I can attack again, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that is an 18.
Yeah, he is after your barrage of attacks, he's starting to look beat up. And an 18 is just barely enough to hit him.
Well, it was 18 plus 3, by the way. It's 5, 4, 6, 4 plus 3.
Oh, you want me to add it all up, don't you?
Yeah, because I'm all
23.
33?
23.
All right, 23.
And I can take a level of Haggard.
Yes.
And I can hit him again.
He takes a level of Haggard because he's hyperactive and gets another action. So go ahead.
And a bonus action if you can.
Oh, I can't use it because I'm not.
Yeah,
I haven't drawn my other blade.
I know.
Does he need to?
Okay, that is the 19 plus 3.
That's a hit.
And all the while, Sebastian's coming, swinging around, doing all this fancy athletic and acrobatic movements as he's smacking this thing in the head. Oh, that's 2 8s, a 6, and a 7 plus 3.
Oh, shoot. Press the wrong thing. You said 2 8s, a 6, a 7, and a 3?
Yeah. Okay, 15 plus 3.
You serious?
Nah.
A 15 plus 3?
Yeah.
That's a hit. Just barely, but that's a hit.
So this guy's armor class is 18, then, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Golly.
He is getting really, like, he is beat. Like, you're watching this kid who looks like the wind itself right now. Feathers from, like, all the adornment he was wearing is getting hacked away. Grim, that you can see in your stunned state, you can barely see this little kid like a hurricane of wind, lightning, and shadow. And like feathers are going all over the place, and you're starting to see underneath the feathers. And there was a good amount of feathers starting to sprout from the chief. And even those are getting hacked away. And it's just a horrendous sight coming from this little kid, this child.
That's a 28 damage.
Oh my god. All right. So you can narrate how you dropped this guy.
Oh my god. Well, Sebastian, he's another one quick blinding movement to one side, smack in his knee, and then one blinding movement to the other side, smash, and the Birdman's down, and then he hits both arms, and then two of his shoulders, takes a spin round and knocks him in the head, to which this Birdman completely explodes in a cloud of feathers.
Oh, as you do that, like you notice all of actually what's left of the horde, as many of them have either exploded via beams of light, auras of light, or lightning. They're all starting to run away, and for the first time you can feel like you can understand the turkey language. You almost think you can hear the turkeys screaming, "Holy shit!" as they run away. The last turkeys are the larger ones, which they stay there for a moment, and they start looking at each other and looking at their chief before deciding it's best to run away.
As they go, Sebastian and his with his sword just goes like that. As they all flood out of the place, and he just flicks his sword around his finger until it just fades and vaporizes away, and then he, still a little twitchy-eyed, he turns and motions over to Grim. Grim, Captain, Sir, Sheriff.
Yeah, you could be back in a fight. You don't got to roll for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, as he had taken these two heavy hits, they actually had kind of spun him around, and he was teetering on his feet, swaying unsteadily as if he may fall over. And in the very next few seconds, he blinks, and the place is practically empty, and this turkey boss is gone. And he looks down to himself, looks around as he moves over and picks up his pistol that he dropped. Not bad, kid, not bad.
And you see a big grin form on Sebastian's face.
So, yep, you guys did it. There will be turkey dinners for all for quite some time on the Isles of Shurima. The villagers that are tied up are so happy that you saved them, and not only that you saved them, that they don't have to bother hunting ever again for quite a long time. And this is like the closing credits, right? For several generations. This is the closing credits. There is a long table as far as the eye can see. Turkeys every 2 feet as far as the eye can see. Right? Every villager, every townsmember, every sailor, every person traveling with sailors is sitting at this table as far as the eye can see. And then just before the head of the table, on either side, on the right and the left, you can see the moon elf shaman on one side saying prayers over this turkey dinner. The hungry halfling propped up on a chair on the other side, ready to dig in. And at the head of the table, standing on top of the chair, this young, hyperactive child, proudly, just regally standing above this endless table of massive amounts of turkey dinners. And then, the camera pans, flies, dipping and dodging the various cooked turkeys. People are starting to slice into them, carve them up beautifully. The smoke uttering forged, ushering through, and then the camera pans to the smoke, and at the other opposite side of the table, at the head of that side, you see a pretty old, but somehow young brownie munching on some turkey and taking a swig on the gore. And that's the end of turkey.
As the credits begin to roll and the audience begins to disperse, the screen pops live once again, revealing an old man speaking to a ring of children sitting down, and he says, and that is how the Turkey Day of Sherma first started. The end.
Yeah,
And then the curtain sweeps over. They reveal a good gear bundle where two little beady eyes pops. You see this shaking, and then it disappears.
poor gobbler. But yeah, I don't know if you guys want to, but you know, starting from Brian, Sahib, and then Dennis, if you want to just let the interwebs know what's what, or if you want to plug anything, feel free.
Well, that was a fun session. Probably the most unusual session I've had, but it was excellent. I have nothing to plug, but if I had, I'll plug it right now. But that was cool. I enjoyed it.
Well, nothing really to plug here, but yeah, Elvin is just standing there thinking, be found in the world and known. And damn kid, Brian, that was an amazing kid. I'll bring Reggie next time. We'll play together, man.
Yeah, they'll have an awesome time.
And Dennis?
I'm pretty sure we'll have awesome time.
Wait,
but don't know
hold
about
on. Let
music.
Dennis have his piece. Let Dennis say his piece, man.
Hey, yeah, this is Dennis. I just want to say this is my second game of Saturday morning tabletop. I really enjoyed it. Thanks to my fellow players and our colorful GM. It was a fun time.
Okay, so yeah, there's apparently going to be quite a bit more hanging out after we go offline, so we might as well go offline very fast. If you want to know more about Saturday Morning Tabletop, I'll leave like a link below. You could go over to Facebook, message me Infinite Roleplay, or go to the Infinite Roleplay store on Drive Through RPG. Bye bye.